Alright, we're loading back into the virtual cabin for the final run through of the virtual cabin. Ma, 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 ma. Not ch 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 ch. Huh. How about that? Okay. Now, for the next part of the virtual cabin, we're gonna come out here where everybody just died, and this is where I think the cool gaming aspect, or the cool aspect of the gaming side of this game comes into play. Like you have, I think, the franchise movie aspect of the game, which comes into play. And all the little nuances to the franchise that make this game great. But I think this is one of the key factors that make the gameplay really great and really make you use your mind as far as a game player goes, because this is actually probably one of the few puzzles I would have been able to solve on my own had I been able to get this far in the virtual cabin. But I couldn't have done a lot of the work that I did in this without a YouTuber that I've watched a few videos of his on to put together a little walkthrough of my own, Z3KO Gaming. I watched a few of his videos, put together a little walkthrough for a friend of mine to kind of go through and do this the other night. But sadly, those two videos did not load properly. The timing was off as far as the gaming goes, and then there was some audio issues, which I feel like the system just might have been haunted or whatever. But I'm doing this again. This is my second run through, my second take on the virtual cabin. Going solo. My friend Buck isn't here, but I just felt like this was one of the cool things of the game.
So tell me about when you were making the game. Did you have any like weird glitches or strange bugs that you found?
Late in development, we had this bug. We swore it was like the spirit of Jason coming into the game or something. But sometimes during a match, these invisible holes would generate. And if you managed to fall through one, you'd end up in this weird, untextured area of the map. It was not like an area we physically created, but like made of bits of our assets. Eventually you'd be shot up high into the air and killed by Jason in the sky. Luckily we were able to get it out before CERT, but it was a tough one.
How were you able to find it?
We had this debug code that would show us the holes in the map.
Oh,
that
debug
helped us hunt
codes.
them down.
What was the debug code?
You know, it's the same code everyone uses when they need to input a secret code in a video game. I mean, just remember back when we were kids.
It's probably better for legal that way.
Alright, so everybody knows the code. Back when we were kids was the Konami code. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, BA, select, start. So just go ahead and we're going to do that now. Or not. There we go. And as you can see, now the debug menu has popped up. So let's see here. Once the debug menu pops up, you scroll down to map collision. And click unknown era, and then show collision on. They're going to exit the menu here, and this should allow us to kind of, walk through, check everything out, and got all the lines here. Got a faint buzzing coming from somewhere. Here we go. We're just going to go ahead and just step right in through here. Boom. But this reminds me more of something like out of Nightmare on Elm Street.
We spent a lot of time tuning the game to make sure it was fun to play as a counselor, and we knew we had it when... Funny guys, hilarious. How long have you been waiting to play that for? Anyways, we finally... Oh shit! Kane, that's dope. You got me. Oh, careful, bro. Your knife is dripping on the...
Oh my god, he's stabbing me.
Oh, I can tell he's stabbing you. Alright, cool. Finally, the little design. Is that shit? Oh, that is just disgusting. You guys didn't need to put that in there. Alright, so start by just collecting these little guys here. Just gonna follow these little badges. Alright. Oh yeah, but I think I was talking about part 6 before, in my last video. Jason Lives. Yeah, I just really like that film a lot. I like the counselors in the film. Tommy's back. That's always a good thing to have some of the recurring characters, even though he's not played by the same actor. But you know, who cares? Yep, perfect. All right, now the glitchy version, where it's like the Matrix has basically kind of like crapped on itself here. Everything's like flipping and freezing. Everything you could basically like interact with is just kind of like lost itself. I also like the fact that part 6 is going to go ahead and collect all these little badges here. Oh snap! Yeah, it's going to collect all these little badges here. I also like the fact that Friday the 13th Part 6 actually had kids at the camp. Like I realized that like all the other films, like Part 1 and 2, 3, like... Actually, I think Part 3 weren't even counselors, yeah. Part 3 wasn't even counselors. Oh man, he's like busted out of all of these here. Go ahead and collect these badges here in Jason's hand. And I realize, like in most films, like, you know, the counselors are there just trying to, basically set up for the kids to come to the camp. Oh no. Why? Always when I'm telling a story. But I just thought it was always so odd that we never see, like, any kids at the camp movies. It's always just the counselors there. So I like the fact that Part 6 actually had kids there. The kids are really funny. That one dark-haired kid just got lots of great little one-liner jokes. Like that whole, like, what did you want to be when you grew up? And, like I said, the fact that they brought back Jason to the franchise as well. Like, I saw what they were doing with Part 5 where... oh, we finally got the coming soon rooms open. Looks like we're going to be on the Starship Enterprise, perhaps? It's definitely not the Millennium Falcon. I'm thinking more Starship Enterprise. But yeah, like in Part 5, you know, I saw they were going with a different direction. Just kind of using the idea of the hockey mask and that, you know, somebody else could kind of carry on the mantle. It didn't have to be Jason Voorhees. And I saw what they were doing, but I just don't know if that was, you know, if it really works. I think it's always more fun when the killer that you've always known and loved just keeps coming back for more, no matter how many times he's chopped up, no matter how many times you burn him, fillet him, slice him. He's just going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back. So yeah, this looks like it's all stuff from Space Station Jason, as I like to call it, Jason X, the 10th movie in the franchise, in which I guess much like they wanted to do with Jason Takes Manhattan, was get him out of the camp. You know, get him off of Camp Crystal Lake. But again, I feel like, you know, Camp Crystal Lake and Jason Voorhees, they just kind of go hand in hand. So, you know, why mess with what's with what works. So yeah, they tried to do something different with Part 5. It was definitely not one of my more favorite films, but you know, they brought back Jason in Part 6, and that's probably one of my favorite out of the later series. 7, 8, like I said, you know, they tried to do some new things and with people with like mutant powers and psychic powers and taking them to New York, and just, you know, it just didn't quite work. You know, I think the best films are Jason at Camp Crystal Lake killing campers and people who come to try to like set up Camp Crystal Lake. I think many would argue that the best films are like 1 through 4, and that's pretty much the story of Jason Voorhees right there. Once you get past that, they kind of become a little bit campy and a little goofy. Speaking of Space Station Jason, I'll be back. Hasta la vista, baby. Cool. Alright. Virtual cabin completed once again. Now, like I said, I'm sure there are more things to do within this cabin. I don't know. I know those video cassettes probably have some kind of a function. The video cassettes that you can put in the VCR. I'm not really sure. If anyone out there knows what the video cassettes do, please feel free to comment below in any of my videos. This one, or part 1 or part 2 or part 3 of this whole little thing here. But now version 2.0 has launched. All this stuff you can kind of go back in and pick back up, but the only problem is one of the movies is no longer available. That is the movie that was on the pedestal at the beginning of the game. Kind of go through and pick up the rest of these guys. That's now open. You can continue to go in there. This. So that's basically, that's basically it for the virtual cabin that I'm aware of. I just wanted to put this out there on my YouTube channel with actual audio and not that weird, strange, pathetic hum that I was stuck with on the videos that we first shot, my friend and I, Buck, when we first attempted to do this this walkthrough of the virtual cabin. Like I said, I've enjoyed just kind of chatting with you guys, and hope you guys enjoy this video. Like I said, the basis of this was just to kind of talk a little bit about Jason Voorhees and kind of walk through the cabin and check some stuff out and just have a good time. I set this up with a friend of mine a couple nights ago. But like I said, we had some technical difficulties loading our videos with the right audio and all that stuff. So it's just kind of for me, just to kind of put this on there on my channel correctly and somewhat in the manner that I had set out when I first set out to put out this video on my channel here. In closing, I just want to thank you guys for listening to me talk about Jason a little bit. He's probably one of my favorite horror movie characters out there. Michael Myers is always going to be a big favorite. Jason is like the blue collar worker, and then you have Michael Myers is just like the IRS, he's an accountant. He's just by the numbers. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I've really enjoyed playing this game. I want to thank the guys who put this game together for putting together such a great installation and the Friday the 13th franchise. And again, I want to thank Z3KO Gaming, YouTuber that posted a few videos of this game himself, which I used for a walkthrough for my videos here. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm signing out. This is it for Robert versus Jason on the Friday the 13th for the PS4. Again, be sure to follow me on Twitter at rfa3rd.com or the3rd.com. RFA the 3rd at Twitter. Again, that's RFA the 3rd 3RD at Twitter. Go ahead and log on to the computer and type that in right now. Thanks again, guys, and I will catch you next game. Peace.